say I love that man right there. Brian Long is my brother. And if it weren't for him and the team of We the People Tea Party Patriots that he put together last year, I wouldn't be in Raleigh. And thank him so much. And all of you who helped. Just wonderful team to work for me because you knew I was going to work for you. And I thank you for that. And I'm running into some of what Glenn was talking about already in Raleigh. I've put together a proposed amendment to our state constitution to strengthen protection for our gun owners' rights. And everywhere I turn, talking to other legislators about it, they keep telling me, you can't do this. You're going too far, we can't get this done. Maybe you could do a bill that has some of this, but you can't do an amendment. And, tell me, you got to have all this money to push an effort, to get an amendment passed and everything. There's probably a lot of truth to that. But they're just, even ones who are basically in agreement with what I'm saying, they're saying, don't try this, you can't get it done. And it's very discouraging. I need people like you to be contacting your folks in Raleigh, saying, I heard Larry Pittman wants to do this, you need to work with him on it. Because what my amendment would do, let's see, I've got the Constitution right here in my pocket. I can't remember all the wording that I've got right now. What, Mr. Bologna, do you still have that copy with you?
It's in my car.
Okay, that's all right. In Article 1, Section 30 of the state constitution, after very similar...
I'm wrong.
You do have it, okay. After first having very similar language to the Second Amendment, Article 1, Section 30 concludes with these words, says, nothing herein shall justify the practice of carrying concealed weapons or prevent the General Assembly from enacting penal statutes against that practice. Now let me read to you what I'm wanting to put in the Constitution and see if you think it's going too far, or, if you think I need to tone it down, you tell me. If otherwise, if you think I need to push this, I want to know it. I would amend the Constitution of the State of North Carolina, Article 1, Section 30, by deleting those words I just read to you.
Hear, hear.
And replacing that wording with the following wording. The carrying of concealed weapons shall not be prohibited by the state of North Carolina. And again, I hate to do this. Sometimes you do have to be a little careful and have some exceptions. So I've got them in here. I don't like them, but let's see. Except in courthouses and federal government buildings where the federal government prohibits weapons, in privately owned buildings where the owner has posted prominently displayed signs forbidding concealed weapons on their premises, or on school campuses by persons not authorized to carry concealed weapons on school campuses. See where I'm going with that in a minute. The carrying of concealed weapons, including pistols and otherwise legal knives, except as stated above, shall not be a punishable offense unless said weapon is used in the actual commission of a crime. Furthermore, in accordance with the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, any attempt to disarm the law-abiding citizens of the state of North Carolina shall be resisted by the full power of the state of North Carolina, and citizens who have committed no crime have the right personally to resist confiscation of their weapons. Now that's what I want to do. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, go with that one.
That's what I want to do, but I'm being told it can't be done. If you think it should be done, I need your help, and I'd appreciate it. Let me just tell you one thing. Where I stand, in case you have any doubt at this point, where I stand on the right to keep and bear arms is simply this. As long as you have no intention of harming an innocent person, it's nobody's business, especially the government, what guns you have, or how many, or when and where you carry them. You and I, who are honest, law-abiding citizens of the United States, are not the problem, and laws should not hinder us in exercising our rights. The criminals are the problem, and we ought to be, having our laws making it tougher on them. And one of the things that make it toughest on them is if more of us are armed wherever we go. Another bill, I haven't really done any writing on it yet, something I've been thinking about trying to do, is to establish what I guess you could call a constable program, where people who qualify for having a concealed carry permit can get further training. It would probably cost them something. I don't know. I probably can't get it done without it costing them something. But would get further training and would be deputized. So that if you're one of those people, you're not going to get a salary for it. You're just going to be a good American patriot citizen. But say you go to the bank, you don't have to leave your gun out in the car. And if something happens while you're in there, you can put a stop to it instead of having to wait for the police.
There you go. Right.
Now, I respect, admire, and appreciate our police, but they can't be everywhere at once. Citizens need to be able to take care of themselves and each other, defend themselves when it's necessary to do so. But even that is not really what the Second Amendment is about. You hear a lot about hunting and fishing. Hunting and target shooting. And all these things. And those things are important, and the Second Amendment certainly does protect those, but it's not what it's focused on. Too many people are afraid to speak out about what it is about and say it directly. And I'm going to say to you, I hope that it's never necessary. I hope we never find a time that we in our nation have to face this. But what the Second Amendment about is for you and me to be able to defend ourselves against an oppressive government. That's what it's all about, and that's where I stand.
That's the kind of government we got up there now.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's getting that way. I tell you, we have a lot of good people. I got a boy standing back there. That's my son Samuel back there in that black jacket. Lieutenant Samuel Pittman of the North Carolina National Guard. Just came back on July 4th from his second tour to Kuwait and Iraq. I guarantee you that boy right there will never obey any order to take your guns.
Amen.
He will not do it. We have a lot of people who are committed to the Constitution. They've taken that oath, and they stand for it. And I think one of the things, and I said this in Raleigh, Glenn's rally, one of the things that we need to drive home is to our military personnel and our veterans. By the way, if you're a veteran, military personnel, thank you for my freedom. I appreciate it so much. But we need to drive home the understanding that as long as you keep that oath, as long as you stand for our freedom, as long as you refuse to obey any unconstitutional order of a tyrant, the armed citizen is the best ally you have.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Now, I'm not a violent person. I don't want to commit an act of violence against anyone. But I stand with Charlton Heston, God rest him, from my cold dead fingers.
There you go.
And I encourage you to make that same commitment. Thank you.